They're the largest parrot in the world. Katie's holding a scarlet macaw, and Colleen's holding a green-winged macaw. Beautiful, almost every color in the rainbow, right? Now, the reason why they're called a parrot is because they have two characteristics that make them very special. It's their big beak and their feet. Their big beak to crush the nuts, and their feet, they have two toes pointed forward and two toes pointed backwards, and that's called zygodactyl feet. And no other bird has it. So it's two toes pointed forward, two toes pointed backwards, they grab on and lock onto the perch, and that helps them hang on to the perch. They can also hang upside down and grab the fruits and things. Really cool animal. Let's see, come on up here quickly, guys. And we'll talk about the birds. And the thing that's really depressing, though, is the fact that they're found in the rainforest, and a lot of the rainforest, they're removing the trees, the natural trees there, and it's called deforestation. And because of the deforestation, these animals are now vulnerable to an extinct or endangered species. So our zoo is stepping up and trying to help conservation and educate people and also financially donate to worthy causes about the rainforest and how we can protect it. The thing that's cool about this green-winged macaw is it has feather lines right along its face, and when mom and dad are feeding the chick, they'll lock their beaks together, and after the mom and dad have fed all day long, they'll have a mash in their tummy, and they'll regurgitate that up to the baby, and they'll lock beaks, and the baby will remember dad by looking at those feather lines. And so when they leave the nest, it's called fledging. They'll leave after a few, about 30 days, maybe 45 days, and they'll call to their mom, and they'll call to their dad, and when they get back to each other, they'll greet, they'll lock beaks, and they'll remember those feather lines. They're kind of like our thumbprints. Every single bird has and this species has a different feather line. You know, and also, a lot of times people are scared of birds because they say, oh, they're full of bugs. They're full of bugs. And you can see that Bozer here was looking at his feathers. He doesn't have bugs at all. What he's doing is he's grooming and preening his feathers. His feathers is the only thing that he survives on, to fly away or to capture the attraction of another bird. So what he's doing is he's cleaning his feathers, making sure they're nice and healthy, and then when the feather is growing, it looks like it's coming through with a clear straw, and he picks that straw off, and then he takes the feather and zips it closed. Because if you ever see a feather and you pull it apart, it's like you're unzipping it, and then that's what they do with their beak. They zip it up so they can catch the wind and fly away. All birds do that. All birds that can fly. Ostriches and emus and rheas, that type of a penguin, they don't do that, but these birds do. It's really cool. Thank you very much. Let's see, it's our favorite. This here is the most venomous snake in South America. One bite from this snake. You got about 7 seconds to give me all your money. You gave me $2. No. Okay, so this is not a venomous snake, or we wouldn't be holding it like this. This is a Honduran milk snake. And the Honduran milk snake has a fun name, and the reason why they call it a Honduran milk snake is because they're found in Honduras. Okay, that's not very fun. But they're called milk snake because the farmers would always find them in the barns. And they had cattle. And they were sure that when they went to bed, the snakes would get up and they would latch onto the cattle and drink all the milk. But that's not true. Why was the snake in the barn? Eating the mice. That's right. They were eating the mice, and they were also staying warm because there was hay in there, there was also cattle in there, and so they were getting that warmth. That's why they were there. But they call them a Honduran milk snake because of the fact that years ago, they'd always see them in there, and they didn't realize that they were cold-blooded, which means that their blood isn't cold. It means that they can't regulate their body temperature. Let's make it real simple. If it's cold in here, they're cold. If it's warm in here, they're warm. All right? So that's how it works, and it's pretty cool. So it's a constrictor, not a venomous snake. That means that they grab their prey, they squeeze it, kill it, and then they eat it whole. Doesn't that make you feel good? Let's see what else we have to talk about. Now this is a real peculiar animal. They call them a honey bear because what they eat is really sweet. They like the old fruit that's just about to fall off the tree. You know, look at when Katie walks by. Look at the big eyes that this Katie has. And they call it a honey bear, and it's very possible that it might stick its mouth or stick its tongue out. The tongue is 4 inches long. and they're able to lick the sweet nectar or the sweet fruit of some type of fruit that's just about to fall off. You know, the problem with African kids is everyone thinks it's a monkey because of the hands, the arms, and also the prehensile tail. They have a tail like they can grab onto a tree and hang down. Really a cool animal, but actually it's related to the raccoon. It's in the raccoon family, Procyon. Awesome animal though. The reason why I said Paris hooked like this is because she wanted it as a pet. You can't own them as a pet. They don't make a good pet because they're nocturnal. That means that they're active at night. And they have big teeth, even though they eat the fruit. But you know, also they're pollinators. Out in the wild, they'll be in the trees, they'll get the pollen off the branches and the flowers, and they'll go to the next tree and pollinate. They're also really messy, and so when they drop the fruit, that's also seeds, and they're able to plant the seeds. Thank you very much. Let's see what it's a two-toed sloth. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Sally. Isn't that cool? The reason why they call them a two-toed sloth is because they have 2 toes in the front, 3 toes in the back. There's 2 different types of sloths in the world, a 2-toed and a 3-toed. The big difference between them is obviously the toes, but also their coloration. The 2-toed sloth is brown, the 3-toed sloth is a marble color and has a black mask like a raccoon. So when you're out in Costa Rica and you're looking for a sloth, and you see a gray one with a black face, it's a 3-toed. You don't have to look at the toes. So 2-toed is always brown and black. Everything about a sloth is slow. Everything about a sloth is slow. They stay upside down. They hang in the trees. They'll find a V in the tree branch and they'll sit there. They're so slow that algae and moss will grow on their body and they'll be bright green. And there's a moth that lives on the back of the sloth. And the only time the sloth will take off from the trees to go potty, and he goes potty every 7 days. And the reason why he just doesn't go potty while he's hanging in the tree, because he doesn't want the jaguar to know where he lives. So he'll go slowly down, and he'll go down, and he'll walk away from his tree, crawling like a spider. And that's when the moth will get off the sloth and lay its eggs and then get back on the sloth. So the moth and the sloth have a symbiotic life, meaning they live together. Now, their hair is really coarse. This animal weighs about 5 pounds. The hair starts at the belly and works back, so when it rains down, it goes off the body. They have eyes, and they have the nose and the teeth. The eyes are not very keen in the daylight. They're more of a nocturnal animal. Let's see, you can see that they have the 2 toes here, 3 toes in the back. They do have a little tail. When the babies are born, they hang on to mama right on the belly, and they'll stay there with them for about 4 or 5 months. And they're pretty cool. They're really awesome animals. They're found in the rainforest. They never drink water at all. They only get their moisture from all the fluid off the tree leaves. They don't eat meat. They only eat tree leaves. That's it. Isn't that awesome? So there you go. A sloth. Thank you very much. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we're done with South America, aren't we? Will we move on? No, we still have this animal.